You know, I am an entrepreneur, but more importantly, I'm a mom. I have a wonderful daughter, and her name is Carly. And right now, she's going to be turning 3 very soon. And Carly has taught me more life lessons in the 3 years of her life than anything else culminated together. Anything else. And these are important lessons that can be applied to everything that I do. You see, when Carly was conceived and in my belly, we used to go to regular doctor appointments, and right at about the 4th month is when they tell you if it's going to be a boy or a girl. We went in for the ultrasound. I was a little nervous to figure out if it was going to be a Jonathan or a Carly at that time, and they said, yes, it's going to be a girl. And then they also told me that she was going to be born bilateral cleft lip and palate, which was a little shocking to me. I really did not do any research on cleft lip and palate kids prior to that day, and I had a wedding that I needed to prepare within 2 days after that doctor visit. So I didn't really have time to process it. I did what I normally do. I stuffed it over here, and I went on and I put on the best possible event that I can. And then afterwards, I made sure that I did some research. I started looking on websites and seeing video biographies of people who were parents of kids with cleft lip and palate. And I realized that, well, it's 18 years of procedures and therapies, but Miss America 2008 was born bilateral cleft lip and palate. So was Matthew McConaughey, you know? So it was something that, yes, with love and support, we could get through. Then when I gave birth to Carly, honestly, to tell you the truth, I just loved the little bump right here on her mouth. I used to kiss it daily. She didn't look anything but normal to me. I absolutely adored her, exactly how she was. At about 6 months, they went in and they repaired the lip, and she looks amazing. Cosmetically, she looks amazing. But the surgeon, when she came out, she had this look on her face, and she's like, "Don't worry, but..." I was like, uh-oh, here it comes. She goes, "That little bump on her nose is not a bone like I thought it was. It's a dermoid cyst. And we need to do more tests so I can figure out exactly where it is, because they tend to grow hair like legs." And I looked at him like, okay. But she said not to worry, so I won't. We went through 3 MRIs and 3 CAT scans over the next 8 months while Carly was healing from her lip surgery. And then on Christmas Eve 2010, I received a call from a neurosurgeon, and he said that we have to perform surgery right away on her, and that this was going to be an invasive surgery. It was going to require them to remove her forehead bone. And in order to get there, they would have to cut her from ear to ear, remove the scalp, cut the bone in a triangle, and then remove the eye socket, and then cut the nose from here to here. This cyst had grown to the size of a dime on the tip of her nose and had grown legs into the brain. They had to remove every last bit of trace of that cyst and its legs from her body, and they had to do it immediately because it had created a passageway to the brain, and a common cold could have killed her. So not only did we have to quarantine Carly, we had to donate blood. I had all these instructions, and I had a Christmas gathering at my house that year, and I had to get everybody together. I didn't have time for this. I had another event to put on. So I pushed all my emotions aside, and I took care of business. I got online. I did the research. I researched the doctor, the hospitals, the procedure, kids who have had this same procedure done, and what the outcome was. And I said, okay, I know all the math. It's going to be okay. And on January 25th, 2011, I walked into Children's Hospital in San Diego, and I handed them my baby. And then the doors closed. And every emotion that I did not deal with from that first day that I got that ultrasound hit me all at once. I couldn't speak. I just turned around and I ran, just like Forrest Gump. I just kept running and running and running. I ran out of the hospital. I ran down the street. I ran as fast as I could, and being disabled, that wasn't very fast. But I ran up into the parking garage to the top floor, across the parking garage, into my car. And I took in a deep breath and I screamed as loud as I could. And I felt that scream leaving me. And then I took another breath in and I went to scream, but time stopped. It stopped me right then and there. And there was this vision of Carly. And she was 19 years old. And she was beautiful. She was looking sideways out a window. She had long hair. She had freckles, which she doesn't have now. And she had a little bit of a big butt, which I don't have, so that must be from Dad's side of the family. And it didn't matter. She was 19 and she was done and she was perfect, and that's, when I opened my eyes, I realized that, and I just kept saying, Carly's 19, Carly's 19, Carly's 19, Carly's 19, she's 19. And I got out of my car and I walked back down the street, and there were people looking at me because I'd just run by, probably acting frantic, I'm sure. And I walked up to my husband, who just looked at me like, where did you go? What happened? And I just said, Carly's going to be 19. She's 19. Now, if you're an entrepreneur like me and you look at this story and you see the message, you're going to realize that if you can see whatever your goal or your inspiration as completely done, 100% pure, completed, as it should be, and you never lose sight of that focus, you're going to be able to accomplish that goal. You just have to walk from here to there, and no matter how hard it gets along the way, you just have to hold on to that vision. And that is how Carly became my inspiration.
Maybe these kids are really the angels. They're gonna bust the roof off and head to the sky. Here they can fly high above, spreading love and kindness, just helping to remind us that they